Guide to Successful Thesis and Dissertation. Define limitations. Define limitations.
Common methodological limitations. Issues with sample and selection. Insufficient sample size for statistical measurement. Lack of previous research studies on the topic. Limited access to data. Time constraints. Conflicts arising from cultural bias and other personal issues. Common phrases used to discuss study limitations. The following phrases are frequently used to introduce and describe study limitations. There may be some possible limitations in this study. The findings of this study have to be seen in light of some limitations. The first is the second limitation concerns the empirical results reported herein should be considered in the light of some limitations. This research, however, is subject to several limitations.
Common phrases used to discuss study limitations. The following phrases are frequently used to introduce and describe study limitations. The primary limitation to the generalization of these results is. Nonetheless, these results must be interpreted with caution and a number of limitations should be borne in mind. As with the majority of studies, the design of the current study is subject to limitations. There are two major limitations in this study that could be addressed in future research. First, the study focused on. Second, why is it important to discuss limitations in research? Limitations are important to understand for placing research findings in context, interpreting the validity of the scientific work, and ascribing a credibility level to the conclusions of published research. This goes beyond listing the magnitude and direction of random and systematic errors and validity problems. You will also experience something amazing. Become aware of limiting thoughts. Begin to think big and see the possibilities. Take action toward the big dreams that confront the limiting beliefs. Surround yourself with other big dreamers. Continue to grow. Common limitations of the researchers. Limitations related to the researcher must also be written and shown to readers. You have to provide suggestions on decreasing these limitations in both your and future studies. Limited access to information. Your study may involve some organizations and people in the research, and sometimes you may get problems with access to these organizations. Due to this, you need to redesign and rewrite your study. You need to explain the cause of limited access to your readers. Time limits. Needless to say, all the researchers have their deadlines when they need to complete their studies. Sometimes, time constraints can affect your research negatively. If this happened, you need to acknowledge it and mention a need for future research to solve the main problem. Conflicts on biased views and personal issues. Some researchers can have biased views because of their cultural background or personal views. Needless to say, it can affect the research. Apart from this, researchers with biased views can choose only those results and data that support their main arguments. If you want to avoid this problem, pay your attention to the problem statement and proper data gathering. Before you start your study or work, keep in mind that there are specific limitations to what you test or possible research results. What are their types? There are different types that students may encounter and they all have unique features, including research design limitations, impact limitations, data or statistical limitations.
Thank you for watching. Please like and share if this is helpful.